Hello everyone! Today we're sewing a men's Henley shirt, the easy way. All pattern links are down in the description, so grab yours and let's get started. First things first, print your pattern at 100%, no scaling. Print one test page, check that little square box and make sure it measures right. After printing, measure yourself, chest, neck, and length, and compare to the pattern. Now a few quick basics. The right side is the pretty side of your fabric, the wrong side is the inside. Don't worry, we all have one. Edge stitch just means sewing close to the edge, about 1 to 2 millimeters away. Fabric talk, use something not stretchy. Press as you go, use steam if you like, and a pressing cloth so you don't create shiny shoulder art. A bit of fusible interfacing in your collar and cuffs will make life smoother too. Quick beginner tips. Stitch length around 2.5 to 3 for seams, 3 to 3.5 for top stitching. Match your thread to the fabric unless you trust your straight lines completely. And safety reminder, fingers, irons, and scissors all have boundaries. Cut out all the pieces except the collar and cuffs. We'll deal with those later once we're feeling powerful. Ready? Let's warm up with the Henley Placket. If you're new to sewing, practice first on a scrap of fabric or even on paper. One quick test now can save 10 fixes later. I like using simple DIY hem guides. I cut them from old file folders or pieces of cardboard. You just place the guide near the edge, fold the fabric over it, and press. That guide keeps your folds straight, and straight folds make easy sewing. Step 1. Prep the 2 plackets. Fold seam allowances along both long edges. Press. Heads up, I don't talk the whole time, so if you hear silence, your speakers are fine. That's just me wrestling with fabric and trying not to say bad words, or focusing really hard and forgetting to breathe. Double fold the ends so they look neat. Press again. Repeat for the second placket. Why? Pre-folds become your built-in sewing guides. Step 2. Mark the center front. Draw a straight center line on the shirt front on the right side of the fabric. Measure the finished placket length from the neckline down. Mark the endpoint. Use a heat-erasable pen. It vanishes later. Step 3. Place and pin. Open the placket folds. Right side of placket to right side of shirt. Align the edge with the center line. Pin. Do the same with the second placket on the other side of the line. Step 4. Stitch the channels. Mark the endpoint again. This is your stop sign. Sew exactly on the fold lines. These are your guide rails. Sew slow. Keep the needle on the fold. Stop at the end mark. Do not sew past the stop sign. Step 5. Mark the cut on the wrong side. Flip the shirt to the wrong side. Redraw the center line if needed. Stop your center line about ½ inch or 12 millimeters before the end. On the close-up, I show a small sample how to stitch and mark on the wrong side. Now draw 2 short lines from that stop point to the corners where your stitching ends. You made a triangle. That triangle will fold inside later. Step 6. Cut. Use sharp scissors. Cut the center line first, then make the 2 tiny snips out to the triangle corners. Stop a hair before the stitches. Do not cut the stitches. If you are nervous, cut less. You can always snip 1 thread more. Step 7. Turn and tuck. Gently pull both plackets through to the inside of the shirt. Magic. Press the edges flat. Tuck the small triangle into the plackets. Pin. Let the front edge sit slightly past the stitch line. This helps you catch the back layer when you sew from the front. Step 8. Choose the overlap. Decide which side is on top. Classic menswear, the wearer's left side goes on top. Women's wear is often the opposite. Step 9. Align and baste. Make sure the ends are even and straight. Pin the plackets together at the bottom edge. Step 10. Lock the base from the wrong side. Flip to the wrong side, lift the plackets, and sew across the bottom through all layers. Aim to catch that small triangle. This locks the slit. Sew slow. Thick layers need patience. Step 11. Top stitch for strength and style. Press from the front. Edge stitch a neat rectangle around the placket. Then sew an X across the base for extra strength. Square corners, parallel lines. Breathe. Go slow. Tip. Use a longer stitch for top stitching. It looks cleaner. Step 12. Clean the neckline. Trim any extra fabric at the neckline so it is smooth. Your placket is ready for the collar. Henley Placket done. You did it. Side seams with vents and shoulder seams. Now we're tackling the side seams and the shoulder seams. Why both at once? Because multitasking makes us look efficient and slightly dangerous with scissors. To save time, I stitch the shoulders and side seams in one go. It's like doing squats and lunges together. Efficient, slightly exhausting, but totally worth it. Step 1. Pin the front and back together along the side seams. Make sure the right sides of the fabric are facing each other, not the wrong sides. Ask me how I learned that one. Step 2. Mark your vents. Let's say mark about 3 inches or 7.5 centimeters from the lower edge. You can make them longer if you want to show off your fancy top stitching skills. Step 3. Pin the front and back at the shoulders too. We're creating what I like to call the inside-out shirt of confusion. It's supposed to look strange right now. Trust the process. Step 4. Now sew. Start by stitching the shoulders along the seam line. Then stitch down each side from the armhole to your vent mark. Don't keep going past the mark. That's the vent's moment to shine later. Step 5. Time to clean up those seams. Use an overlock or zigzag stitch. For side seams, I overlock each edge separately because of the vents. If your fabric isn't thick and you don't have vents, you can finish both sides together. But since we do have vents, separate them like two siblings who can't sit next to each other. I also overlock the shoulders together for extra strength. Because let's face it, that's where people grab you when they say, "Wow, did you make this?" Step 6. Press everything. Shoulders, side seams, all of it. Pressing is like therapy for fabric. It smooths out mistakes and makes everything look intentional. We'll finish the vents later when we do the hem. For now, just leave them open and proud. Little fabric high fives at the bottom of your shirt. Step 7. I press the shoulder seam toward the front. It helps it lie flatter and look more professional. Also, it's my personal favorite direction, and yes, sewists have favorite pressing directions. And that's it for this round. Your shirt is starting to look like, well, a shirt. Take a second to celebrate, or at least refill your coffee before we attack the next part. Collar. Now it's collar time. The moment that separates the casual, "I might have made this," from the confident, "Yes, I did make this." Step 1. Try on your shirt and fold it at the back center. Measure the neckline where the collar will go. Make sure you measure along the seam allowance line, not at the raw edge. That's the difference between a perfect collar and one that tries to escape halfway through dinner. Step 2. Grab your collar pattern. Find the right length, add your seam allowance, and draw your shape. You can go rounded for soft and chill, or square for, I mean business. Cut out your pattern. Bonus points if it looks like something from an expensive menswear catalog. Step 3. Cut 2 collar pieces from your fabric. One will be the outside, the one that shows off, and one will be the inside, quietly doing all the work. Step 4. Apply interfacing to the wrong side of one collar piece. That's usually the outside one, because nobody likes a floppy collar. Step 5. Press the seam allowances on the lower edge. This little pre-press will save you later, kind of like meal prepping for your sewing project. Step 6. Pin the two collar pieces together, right sides facing each other. Match the lower edges neatly. No collar wants to start its life crooked. Step 7. Trim the edges so everything's perfectly even. If one side looks like it went to art school and the other didn't, fix it now. Step 8. Unfold the pressed edges and stitch the two collar pieces together. Leave the lower edge open. Think of it as a collar mouth. It still needs to eat the neckline later. Step 9. Trim the seam allowances just a bit, especially around the corners. Clip any curves. Press the seam toward the outer side, turn it right side out, and press again. Now is your moment to make those corners sharp, like your favorite barista's jawline. Step 10. Pin one edge of the collar, the side that'll go inside the neckline, to the shirt. Match the center back of the collar with the center back of the shirt. Match the ends too. Baste it down. If it looks like an alligator about to bite your shirt, you're doing great. Step 11. Sew it down. Trim the seam, clip the curves again. You want that neckline smooth and bendy, not bulky and grumpy. Now take the other collar edge, the one still flapping around, and pin it over the neckline seam. Overlap it just a hair to hide your stitching. The collar wants to look effortless, not like it's covering a crime scene. Step 13. Edge stitch close to the folded edge all the way around. I used a polyester mix fabric that didn't stretch, so I started from the center back. It helps both ends look nice and even, but that's just my style. You can start wherever you like as long as it looks professional and doesn't swear at you halfway through. And that's your collar done. Give it one last press, stand back, and admire your work. You just made a shirt that could probably get a compliment from a stranger, or at least a nod from your sewing machine. Short sleeve. All right, time for sleeves, short ones. Because let's be honest, if we're sewing a Henley, we want to show off a little arm action. Step 1. Mark the center of your sleeve, and don't forget to note which side is the front and which is the back. If you mix them up, you'll know right away. It'll feel like your arm's trying to escape. Step 2. Fold the lower edge of the sleeve up once. Press. Then fold again and press. It's way easier to do this now before the sleeve is attached. I like to use a slightly bigger seam allowance for sleeve and shirt hems because a wide hem just looks fancy, like the shirt went to private school. Step 3. Fold the sleeve in half lengthwise, matching the long underarm seams. Pin the front and back together, right sides facing each other. Unfold the hem a little at the sides. Don't trap it or it'll rebel later. Step 4. Stitch that side seam closed. Use a zigzag or overlock to clean finish both raw edges. Press it flat. This is the spa moment for your sleeve. It just wants to relax and look good. Step 5. Refold the hem you pressed earlier and stitch close to the inner fold. Now you've got a clean, crisp sleeve edge that looks like you bought it from an actual store. Step 6. Turn your sleeve right side out. Turn your shirt inside out. We're about to play a little game of sewing peekaboo. Sleeve goes inside the armhole, right sides together. Match the shoulder seam on the shirt to the shoulder notch on the sleeve. Match the side seam to the underarm seam. Pin the sleeve all around. It's a fabric marriage ceremony. Everyone's invited. Step 7. Try the shirt on if you want to check the fit. If the shoulder seam feels a little forward or backward, just adjust the notch next time. No drama. That's how you become a pro. Step 8. Sew the sleeve into the armhole. Go slow around the curve. If your sleeve puckers, don't panic. It's just fabric being dramatic. Smooth it, breathe, and keep going. And that's it. Short sleeve, done. You officially made something wearable, breathable, and possibly giftable if you can bear to part with it. Long sleeves. All right, time for long sleeves. The part that says I'm stylish and I don't get cold. Step 1. Mark the center of your sleeve. Then mark which side is front and which is back, because trust me, you don't want both sleeves fighting to face the same direction later. Step 2. On the back side of the sleeve, mark the placket spot. Measure about 1/4 of the sleeve width. Your placket length should be a bit shorter than the placket piece from your pattern. I went with 3.5 inches. That's 9 centimeters for the metric friends. Close enough to sound professional, right? Cut the placket opening in your sleeve. Step 3. Fold the placket piece in half the long way and press. Then fold each long edge toward the center line and press again. Basically, we're turning fabric into origami, iron-powered origami. Step 4. Pin the placket to it, tucking that raw edge neatly inside. Start with the side that'll be on the inside of the sleeve, then move to the outer one. Edge stitch the placket through all layers. You're sewing through a few layers here, so if your machine starts grumbling, remind it who's boss. Step 5. Now fold the placket at the center and stitch a tiny diagonal at the top corner. That little triangle keeps things tidy. I double stitched mine because I like my plackets strong and slightly dramatic. Step 6. Fold the front piece of the placket inside, leaving the back piece flat and visible. That's your classic placket look. Business in the front, party in the back. Clean finish those raw edges with a zigzag or an overlock. If you hear your sewing machine purring at this point, you're doing something right. I like to clean finish the sleeve seams before closing the sides. It just makes everything easier to handle. It's one of those moments that feels repetitive, but trust me, this is the calm before the cuff storm. Next, fold the sleeve in half lengthwise, matching those underarm seams. Pin front to back, right sides together, like two long-lost twins reuniting. And there you go. Your sleeve now has a beautiful placket and a clean seam. Give it a proud little shake and say, look at you, all grown up and professional. Step 9. Unfold the seam and press those allowances open along the long edges. Yes, we're pressing again. Pressing is our love language. Cuffs. All right, it's cuff time, the part of the shirt that makes people say, whoa, that looks store-bought. Step 1. Before adding interfacing, fold your cuff piece in half the long way so the long edges meet. Press. This gives you a center guide, your sewing GPS. Step 2. Cut your interfacing and fuse it to one half on the wrong side of the fabric. That half will be your outer cuff, the one that gets all the attention. Step 3. Press the seam allowance along one long edge. Then fold the cuff again, matching those edges perfectly. Press it flat like you mean business or like you're trying to impress the iron. Step 4. Fold the cuff right sides together. Pin and stitch the short ends. Trim the corners so they're not bulky, then turn it right side out. Use a point turner, a pencil, or whatever pointy but not too pointy tool you have nearby. Step 5. Now measure the long edge of your finished cuff. We're going to make the sleeve opening match it. If your sleeve is a little wider, add a few small folds or pleats. Just 2 tiny ones will do. It's not an accordion. Step 6. Slide the sleeve inside the cuff. Make sure the side seam on the sleeve lies nice and flat. Pin everything together. Then stitch along the cuff's long edge through all the layers. This is the moment of truth. Take it slow, breathe, and remember, the seam ripper is not your enemy, just your teacher. Hem. Time to hem the shirt. Double fold the lower edge once, then twice, and press. I like using a wider hem guide for this because it gives that professional weight at the bottom. Edge stitch along the hem and finish the vents while you're at it. This is where your shirt finally decides to look grown up. Finishing touches. And now the grand finale. Buttons and buttonholes. Add buttons and buttonholes to the cuffs, and if you're feeling fancy, one on the placket too. This is your sparkle moment, or your I survived the Henley badge of honor. Stand back, give your shirt one proud press, and take a victory photo. You just made a full Henley shirt from scratch and didn't throw your machine out the window. Seriously, give yourself a round of applause. That's top-tier sewing magic. Big thanks for supporting my little sewing dream. You're the reason I keep stitching and occasionally talking to my iron. I appreciate you.